This is Billionaire Mondays. Every Monday, we present you with another billionaire. Today, we're looking at 15 things you didn't know about Alexis Ohanian. Welcome to Alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. Hello, Aluxers. Today we're talking about entrepreneur and investor Alexis Ohanian, whose presence and ideas have dramatically influenced many modern-day social, economic, and technological interactions, especially on the internet. Although he's not a billionaire himself, he founded a billion-dollar company, so we think he deserves to be analyzed in a Monday video. Alexis, originally from Brooklyn, New York, attended the University of Virginia, where he graduated with a degree in finance. Ohanian is best known for supporting and influencing many techie investment startups and as a voice for internet freedoms. He also co-founded the social web platform Reddit, which is among the top 4 most popular websites in the US, and he even more recently started a newer company called Initialized Capital. Adding to the excitement, recently Alexis married tennis superstar Serena Williams. He is known as a wonderful entrepreneurial spirit who has forever changed the world with his flourishing business talents and beliefs. Alexis has sold many of his own tech startups for great profits. Most recently, he sold a startup seed company to GM for over $1 billion. If you're new here, welcome. Be sure to subscribe and follow us on Instagram at Alux. With that being said, let's take a closer look at this incredibly successful entrepreneur with the 15 things you didn't know about Alexis Ohanian. Number 1. Reddit developed from a University of Virginia dorm room. A young Alexis Ohanian and his partner Steve Huffman slowly began developing Reddit from their dorm room at the University of Virginia back in 2005. Before they had all the fame, money, and resources, it all started with one clever idea. One day, as Alexis was standing in the park, he was watching the intriguing and intense social discussions that took place every day and couldn't help but wonder, what if we did this on the internet? This thought was the inspiration behind Reddit, and this was only the beginning for Alexis Ohanian. Number 2. In 2012, Forbes magazine dubbed Alexis Ohanian Mayor of the Internet. It would seem that no one else has as many connections to the many tributaries of growing social and capital movements as Ohanian does today. He's been involved with many communities and startups that are deeply connected to streams of information related to the internet today. It's this reputation that led Forbes magazine to name him as Mayor of the Internet back in 2012. Alexis Ohanian has made many strong and lasting business partnerships, and he always acts as a spokesperson for a free and open internet with endless possibilities, so we think this title is rather fitting. Number 3. He says that founding Reddit got him through the worst time in his life. Alexis has said that he was depressed almost the entire time while he was working on his startup. There were 3 terrible things that happened, one right after the other. His girlfriend, who was studying abroad in Germany, fell out of her 5th-floor apartment window and was severely injured. She faced months of surgeries, recovery, and rehab thousands of miles away. Then his lifelong pet, a dog named Max, passed away. A few days after, his mom found out she had terminal brain cancer. It was a very dark time in his life, but Reddit gave him a sense of purpose. He wanted to show his mother he made something of himself before it was too late, and he did that by launching Reddit on June 23, 2005. His mother would sadly pass away 3 years later. Number 4. Alexis Ohanian is also a best-selling author. Ohanian is now a best-selling author thanks to his 2013 book entitled Without Their Permission: How the 21st Century Will Be Made, Not Managed. His book debuted at number 4 on the Wall Street Journal's bestsellers list for business. It highlights subjects like harnessing the power of the internet for good, and he shares his experiences with young and fresh entrepreneurs that would like to follow in his footsteps. Number 5. Alexis Ohanian and Steve Huffman sold Reddit for $20 million. Together, Alexis Ohanian and Steve Huffman created, deployed, and sold Reddit within a 16-month period of time. While both Alexis and Steve stayed on the board for a little while and were continued to be involved, this was an entirely productive venture for the two young men. They sold Reddit to Condé Nast for a staggering $20 million. Condé Nast, also known as Wired, was a mutually interested investor that the pair had met by a chance encounter. Number 6. Reddit has a $1.8 billion valuation today. Alexis was reluctant at first to sell Reddit. It was hard to let go of the business that had given him so much of a great drive and sense of purpose. But he and Steve Huffman were determined to make their mark on the world and continue pursuing their greatest goals. The company they left behind is now worth an incredible $1.8 billion. Alexis returned to the company in 2014 when the chief executive resigned. He then remained at Reddit as the full-time executive chairman until February 2018, when he left to focus on other investments. Number 7. He is partly responsible for the hijab emoji. In 2017, Alexis partnered up with 16-year-old Raouf Alumeri in a campaign for Apple to create a hijab emoji. Raouf, who is from Vienna, Austria, felt upset there was no emoji option with a woman wearing a hijab. Thousands of women around the world wear this special headscarf as an expression of their faith and identity. Alexis arranged for Raouf to engage in an AMA, which stands for Ask Me Anything, to discuss her idea. He supported her on every step of the campaign, and Apple released a hijab emoji later that year. Number 8. Alexis met Serena Williams by chance in Rome. In May of 2015, when Alexis sat next to Serena Williams and her friend at a restaurant in Rome, Italy, he didn't recognize her right away. Her friend tried to get rid of him by telling him there was a rat in the restaurant, assuming he was just being nosy and trying to get close to the tennis star, since there were plenty of other tables he could have sat at. He responded that he wasn't scared of rats since he was from Brooklyn. Serena was intrigued and asked him about himself. She apparently had never heard of Reddit but didn't admit to that. It was then that he realized who he was sitting next to. The instant attraction was there, and she gave him her number. In December 2016, he proposed to her while sitting at the same table in that same restaurant. How sweet. Number 9. He attended the royal wedding between Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Just 6 months after their own wedding, Alexis and Serena made a trip across the pond as two of the honored guests of the royal wedding of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Although there were plenty of singers and actors in attendance, Alexis was one of the few tech moguls that made the guest list. And he has Serena to thank for that privilege, since she's a close friend of Meghan Markle's. The two women met each other at a Super Bowl party back in 2010, and Serena has been a mentor to her as she has had to deal with the increasing fame. Number 10. He owns a $6.7 million Beverly Hills home. After their baby girl Alexis was born, and about 1 month before they got married, Ohanian and Serena purchased a $6.7 million mansion in Beverly Hills, California. Serena put her $12 million Bel Air mansion up for sale shortly before the purchase. The home was built in Spanish contemporary styles and has 5 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms, a chef's kitchen, a wine cellar, a yoga room, a massage room, and a swimming pool. Noticeably, there's no tennis court on the property. If you want to check out the homes of some other famous athletes, click in the upper right-hand corner to watch our video, The Top 10 Most Expensive Football Player Homes. Number 11. Alexis surprised his dad with a '66 Ford Mustang. As a once-in-a-lifetime gift for his father, Alexis Ohanian excitedly purchased a very vintage, very rare 1966 Ford Mustang. Obviously, his dad was astonished with receiving his childhood dream car and having the chance to drive this beauty. Alexis is well known for his tastes in exclusively luxurious cars. He was very happy to make his father's lifelong dream come true. Number 12. He is the 4th most famous Armenian American. Alexis's father, Chris, is a first-generation Armenian American, born after his parents fled Armenia during the Armenian genocide and became refugees in the United States. Alexis has the distinction of being considered the 4th most famous Armenian American ever in history. Can you guess who the other 3 are? None other than Kim, Kourtney, and Khloe Kardashian. The marriage of Alexis Ohanian and Serena Williams is said to have caused quite a bit of excitement back in Armenia. Number 13. He has been named the #1 private internet investor. Ohanian has now been named the #1 private internet investor by CV Insights, who analyzed all the major tech investors. He's connected in so many ways to different communities and current developmental projects. The factors that determine this include network centrality, the breadth of investor connections, the impact he makes on other investors, and the effectiveness of his investments. The efforts made by Alexis make a strong impact on new and promising internet startups and internet ecosystems, so clearly he's deserving of the title. Number 14. His tech startup, Initialized Capital, has raised more than $250 million in funding. Ohanian and his partner Gary Tan co-founded a very successful tech startup called Initialized Capital back in 2010. In the early stages, it had 3 funds and had $160 million under management. This company has since heavily invested in a number of new seed tech startups, including Instacart, Opendoor, Coinbase, Cruise, and Flexport. Currently, Ohanian scouts investment opportunities as an Initialized Capital Associate Ambassador. Since its inception, Initialized Capital has raised more than $250 million in funds. Number 15. GM bought one of his startup investments for over $1 billion. Back in March 2016, one of the early companies that Ohanian invested in through Initialized Capital caught the eye of one of the biggest car manufacturers in the world. Cruise is a startup company that's best known for developing aftermarket kits that enable different types of cars to be converted into autonomous self-driving vehicles. GM has been interested in expanding further into the autonomous field, so they put together a massive deal to acquire Cruise. Although the exact number is not known, it's been confirmed that the final deal is valued at over $1 billion in cash and stocks. Ohanian mentioned the accomplishment on Twitter with a tweet saying, "My first $1 billion seed exit," as a confirmation of his incredible news. Well, Aluxers, that wraps up our list on the 15 things you didn't know about Alexis Ohanian. Now that you've learned some more about this tech mogul, we have a question for you, and be honest. Did you know who Alexis Ohanian was before he got involved with Serena Williams? Let us know in the comments. And as always, for sticking with us all the way to the end and being a true Aluxer, you know you get a bonus fact. Here it is. Number 16. Alexis loves designing company mascots. Alexis loves diving into his more creative side by creating a mascot for the companies he's involved in whenever he has the opportunity. So far, he's created an alien named Snoo for Reddit, a pig with bread wings for the company Bread Pig, Chip the Chipmunk for the company Hipmunk, and a honey badger for his company Initialized Capital. Thank you for spending some time with us, Aluxer. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss a video. If you want more, we handpicked these videos you might enjoy, or head over to Alux.com for the best in fine living content on the planet. Be a part of the largest community of luxury enthusiasts in the world and tell your story.